Hello and welcome to episode 61 of Anime Territory. I'm your host this week, Benjamin Shabbing, and with me as always is my co-host, Johnny Rainbow Bullet Burst Ruha.
Hello.
That was from Birdie's week.
Yeah, no, I got that.
Today we are doing our spring anime review, summary, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, we're getting desperate for ideas and running out of time to watch something. So we talked about all those animes at the start of the spring season.
We usually plan on doing something with it.
Well, it used to be like the 2 shows that we would actually watch of like the 6 shows that we tried to watch. We would do either an episode on those individually, or in the case of Nagatoro and Kabaddi, doing a double feature. But we don't like the double features because we want to
focus on one thing.
Well, it's more just like, okay, somebody might watch something about Birdie and Kabaddi, but not something about Nagatoro, or vice versa. And we don't take the time to actually put time codes in our descriptions of skip to this time to when we're talking about whatever, because I don't do much editing of these things. No. So for the rare occasion I need to bleep something, done that once, or just cutting out noise, and even then I don't know if I'm doing a great job of it. So
I don't know. I don't listen to them.
Little peek behind the curtain. I've listened to a few of them.
Yeah, a couple. I don't think I've ever listened to our Sunny Boy episode.
It's long.
It's 2 hours. It's like, nah.
We were there. I'm sure it's good. It's good.
Okay, so you just want to go right into it, or do you want to kind of do you have a summary of the season as a whole?
This was the season of misplaced horror.
Misplaced horror.
Let me elaborate.
Okay.
All right. Dead Mount Death Plays got sort of a Halloween vibe.
Yeah. I mean, the ending is just a Halloween song, I think.
Yeah.
Or it has the vibe of a Halloween song.
Yeah, so that's now that's misplaced because we're nowhere near Halloween. We're in the spring.
Yeah.
Slash technically the summer now. But, so, 1, misplaced horror. 2, Hell's Paradise. Sort of got a gore horror thing to
slasher horror type of thing.
And a show called Paradise? I don't know, man. Hell in Paradise? That's misplaced. Mashle, Magic and Muscles. That's just horrible. Why horrible. It's misplaced.
Did you start this just to try to make that pun?
No.
Okay.
No. But I realized it as soon as I said horror, so I'm like, oh, I can just say that Mashle's made me want to rip out my eyes and
I don't think it's that bad.
No, it's not. But it's misplaced because it shouldn't be on air at all.
Well, it does have that magical school, which magic. It's kind of
it's got the Harry Potter vibe, which you could sort of see as a Halloween movie.
A lot of people think of it as Christmas, though.
What is it? Not AMC. Freeform, which used to be whatever.
ABC Family.
ABC Family would air Harry Potter movies, I think, in both October and December.
I think USA Network does it now, which I think they're all ABC, so it's whatever.
Yeah, but it's got a place in both. But
I think Freeform will play a Harry Potter movie during 31 Nights of Halloween sometimes. Yeah.
That's what I was getting
I've had cable TV in 4 years?
5.
5 years?
We've been living here for 5 years.
Okay.
With cable, I don't miss it.
No, not really.
I miss Toonami, and that's about it.
So I used to miss SportsCenter, but that's just gone to hell, so.
So you're I'm glad I got out.
One of the things would be just reruns of random shows, like Parks and Rec and stuff.
Yeah, it's just
I could technically throw those on, but now there's no excuse to do it.
Yeah. If it's okay, I want to watch a show. With reruns, it's nice because you can just be oh, it's on, and there's nothing else on? Alright, I'll watch this. Whereas with streaming, you're just do I just want to watch all of it? Because I'm just going to want to watch all of it.
With cable, you don't have a choice what's on.
Yeah.
Streaming, you have the choice.
Sometimes
you don't want the choice.
When I went on vacation, I'm oh, they're airing Simpsons. I'll watch an episode of The Simpsons. I'm on vacation. I could be walking around doing stuff, or I could stay in my hotel room and watch this episode of Community that's about to play.
Oh man, they played a Community?
I think they did. I'd have to check my notes.
Okay.
That was a tangent, but I blame you for that one.
That was my bad.
Okay. But yeah,
I'd call it the season of...
There were shows that I really liked. There were shows that I thought, this is so close to being like a 9, but I want to put it at like an 8. Just because there are parts
I really
of the
only have
care.
one show where I would be like, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Even then, it's had its faults.
Okay. Well, let's just start at the top here.
Okay.
With you're leading the charge here.
So the one I have written down first is Skip and Loafer.
Okay. Is Skip and Loafer the one that you thought this was really good?
No.
That I didn't think so. I've got to guess. I'm gonna guess that Dead Mount Death Play is the one that you like the most.
No.
Okay. Well, I guess then I'll guess. Well, are you counting ones that you watch without me?
No.
Okay. So then is it Magical Destroyers?
Yes.
Okay. See, Magical Destroyers, I feel like we were weakening on it in the beginning, middle area. But it really, picked up at the end.
Yes.
I feel like the last episode, it could have stuck the landing a little better.
It could have, but I appreciate its boldness.
Mm-hmm. Yes. It is very much okay.
I am much more okay with that ending than just a kind of a standard whatever ending.
Yeah, yeah.
At least they went for something.
Yeah, they did something. They most certainly did something.
They did something, and I appreciate it.
We should just say this is going to be spoilers for... We should just list off some of the shows.
I want to try to avoid most spoilers, but if we can get into them, so be warned.
Yeah.
We're not going to stop.
Should we just list the show? I mean, I've already listed 3 of them.
Yeah. So we did Skip and Loafer, Magical Destroyers, Dead Mount Death Play, then partial of Mashle and partially of Hell's Paradise.
Mm-hmm. And you watched most of Birdie's Wing.
I have 2 episodes left.
So we'll talk about that maybe a little bit. I will talk a little bit about the Konosuba prequel, the Megumin one. I don't actually know what it's called. I think it's just called Konosuba, An Explosion on This Beautiful World.
Something like that.
And I watched My One Hit Kill Sister.
When did you watch that?
What?
When did you watch that?
Just whenever.
Okay.
I watched. I'm pretty sure. I watched it exclusively on my phone. Okay. Just I'm not tired yet, but I don't want to deal with trying to get this on the big TV. So. Okay. You're I'm going to take a nap, but I guess I'll watch an episode of anime first. And I didn't say this at the top or before we started, but I also watch all of Rokudo's Bad Girls, which we could talk about a little bit. Just a little bit, because that's all it deserves.
Alright, well let's start with Skip and Loafer. What are your thoughts?
I think Skip and Loafer is a 7. Just because I just kind of it was quaint.
Quaint. It's cute.
Yeah, it wasn't super melodramatic, if that makes sense, which is refreshing. It's it's just sort of I don't know, there's a little bit of melancholy to some of the characters, but it's not oh no.
There's no huge dramas. It's more just
and which is kind of real life doesn't have these huge dramas. It just has people worrying about whether their friends like them or not, or what are these weird feelings, or I don't want to disappoint this person. And that's all the tension, and that's more realistic than maybe not as I will say, oh shit.
I think it gets a little bit boring at the end.
Yeah, so the problem is it's slow progression, and we only had 12 episodes, so we don't really get okay, some of this drama's resolved, but we don't. I'm
not so much about the drama. I just felt the first few episodes you're okay, this is just going to be her trying to get through this high school life, and it's fun and kind of cute, and then it just kind of
overstays its welcome.
Overstays its welcome, maybe.
Yeah.
It just starts focusing on things where it's just okay, we got 3 episodes of the Culture Festival. It's do we really need 4 episodes of this? I get it. Give me more them going to the zoo.
Yeah,
that's what I like.
I just feel like,
give me more like slumber party episodes.
I want there to be a little bit more progression, I guess, and I just feel like maybe we could get if this were to have a second season, we would start getting into like the stuff that's really like yes, yeah. I think this is my bread and butter.
My issue would be like I really liked a lot of the supporting characters.
Okay,
they just aren't there towards the end.
I know I like the main girl.
I do too. I like the side characters.
Okay.
I don't know. So yeah, I'd give it like a 7.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm like, I want more, but it's not quite finished. It's one of those like, maybe we'll get a second season if we're lucky, or maybe it didn't do well enough, and if I want some resolution, I actually have to go.
Well, they have that anyway. It's like, I'm the main character of the show, and this is what I learned this season.
You're like, okay, they're wrapping up because they don't have a good spot to end here. Gotcha.
It's feel like, yep, they're either making another season or that's it.
Yeah. So we'll hope for another season because I'm not enticed enough to go like read the manga.
Okay.
So like Nagatoro, I'm like, yeah, I'll go read that manga. I am still reading that manga. They're like, a second season was announced. Awesome. I think there's enough content in what's currently out versus where, like, I feel like we're kind of, the whole community is like, are we coming to a close for Nagatoro, or is it going to expand past this one point, once we reach this point? So I don't know, I feel like there'll be a third season of that. That's not relevant to Skip and Loafer, but
okay. Can we do an all aboard real quick?
Sure,
because I think there are 2 strong ships in this show.
Okay, there's
the Beauty Queen and the Nerd Girl.
Yeah.
Strong ship.
Yeah, okay. You don't even remember their names.
Nope, but don't care.
It's not important. I don't
not
either.
Important. I'm not going to remember names. I'm bad with names. And then second one is the president and vice president.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. We should say the new president and vice president.
Yes. Which there are hints at that one.
Yes, there are definitely hints at that one.
But yeah, those are the 2 ships. I just wanted to get those out of the way.
Okay. Fair enough. We acknowledge those ships. You Skip and Loafer fans. You loafers and skippers. We acknowledge
Skippers and loafers.
Yeah. You loafs and skippers.
Loafing? Nah, I think skipper and loafers is better.
Well, see, we're adding the ERS to skip.
Yeah.
Right? So we have to take the ERS away from loaf.
Nah, I don't think you have to do that.
You just don't want to be called a loaf.
Skip and loaf. First, see, no, you have to do skippers and loafers.
No, it's loafs and skippers.
Whatever. Doesn't matter.
Moving on.
Second one I've written down is Magical Destroyers.
Yes, Magical Destroyers is the most piece of art.
Yes.
Of this.
This was my favorite of the season.
Yeah, it's well, first of all, intro and outro bangers.
Absolute bangers. They're great.
You got to watch the music video for the. I mean, watch them for both, but the intro especially.
Ending is more song. The intro is definitely the whole thing.
I like the visuals of the ending, but it's not quite the same experience as the video for the opening, if we can say that. It's just, I think it's so close to being transcendent, but it just doesn't
started stronger.
Yeah.
Like the beginning, it's kind of
like, I guess the first episode was fine, but like episodes 3, 4, 5, I don't remember even what happened. Like,
just stuff happens. I guess as soon as this show started like embracing the weirdness of it, that's when it gets good.
Yes, you're just
we like weird stuff.
It's like we can all there's like a turning point where like they have the festival or whatever, and it's like, oh, we're kind of dealing with like perception of reality and being able to change what's real by
that episode, and I think the episode before where they kind of do like a flashback to how they meet.
Yes,
I really like that episode too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's just like, okay, this is where it's starting to get like really good. And it's just the show that it is at the beginning is not what it is at the end, and I like what it is at the end a lot better. I'm not a writer or a director, I don't know how I would have like done the first part of the show. Like, you almost need the lead in of like, wait a minute, things are different than the norm. We established this norm and now we're breaking away from it. But I guess I didn't like the original norm to begin with. So that's all talking vague to avoid spoilers. But one spoiler I will say is that what was that one? What was the fakes anarchy Slayer?
Yes.
Yeah. Slayer does a mercenary Tau pillar throw flying, which is I still giggle about when I think about it. It's a perfect, she does the exact pose. It's amazing. You should watch the anime just for that moment. You'll be like, you'll see it, you're like, that's the moment. Oh my god, it is mercenary Tau.
Okay. But yeah, this was my favorite of the season. I think it's real good. I give it an 8.
Okay. Mm-hmm. It's like, it's so close to being a 9.
Yes.
But it's not.
It's not.
And I thought when I was like, I went with Dead Mount Deathplay, which I think is your next one on the list, as the one that might have been your favorite, just because I knew you didn't care so much about the beginning of this one.
Oh, okay.
Of Magical Destroyers. Mm-hmm. And Dead Mount Deathplay, I feel like, has been a pretty solid all the way through. It's just
the problem with Dead Mount Deathplay is that there's a second season to it.
Or second half of season 1. A second core.
And I didn't know about that until today.
Yeah, well, I kind of figured when we watched episode 11, we're like, man, things are really ramping up and like a whole bunch of elements are like being introduced. And
they were introducing things in like episode 11. You're like, okay, what is going on here? You can't.
We have one, maybe 2 episodes left.
12 episode arc. You cannot be introducing things on episode 11.
Like, this is
unless you have figured things out already previously from the plot that you already have, and they haven't done anything.
Yeah,
we haven't figured out anything.
It's just getting like very, very interesting, and they're introducing all of the, like, these elements. And it's like, this really feels like we're at like a halfway point and it's about to enter this new type of show. And I guess we were right. We were right. We are entering the halfway point. We just won't get the second half until October.
We just didn't know there was a second point coming.
I kind of suspected when we hit episode 11, but I didn't know for sure. I'm like, well, maybe we'll have 13 episodes and they can wrap this all up, or maybe they'll do some really, really crappy job of wrapping it up in episode 12. Mm-hmm. But instead, episode 12 is just like, it's just another episode. It doesn't feel like a final episode of a season.
Yeah, there's really no like cliffhangers or anything. It's just more like, this is where we're ending the story right now.
Yeah, it's just like, well, I feel like there was some like, the after credit scene is like, well, those are characters we've never seen before.
That's true.
And then there was like people reacting to.
It's always weird when they end the shot of the show on a character who hasn't really been there for a while.
Yeah.
Which they did with the one chick, I don't know her name, the one who kills the main.
Oh character. Yeah.
You're like, why did they cut to her?
She wasn't in like the last 2 episodes much at all. Like, I'm just talking like
thing where it's like. Yes, and then it's just this other character, I forget the word, but it's like, yes, and I think we have to worry about this other character instead. And then it cuts to her. What?
So it's like, okay, it just feels like there's a little bit towards the end, I would say, that's just like, okay, they're like, setting up like some sort of cliffhanger, like, oh, people are reacting to what Corpse God is doing, and it's like, we gotta get that, or we gotta figure that out.
Yeah, I guess you do get a little bit. It's like, oh, there
but
seems
like
to be
most
some
of the
sort
episode
of,
is just
secret
like
society, like trying to has a connection to him and everything, whatever.
But it's like most of that episode, you would think like an ending episode would spend like it'd have its climax early on in the episode, and then it would be like half the episode would be winding down, set up for next season, cliffhanger sort of stuff. Whereas more they're just like, nah, this 23-minute anime, we're gonna have the first like 18 minutes just be like this one sequence, this one like fight or whatever, and it's not very climactic. There's no like, oh, we defeated that guy.
You're like cutting out to like Polka and then like the people outside and then up to the roof. So there's
it's like there's a bunch of threads going on, and they weren't necessarily coming together.
Yeah.
So it just did not feel like, it just felt like, okay, well, this is some in the middle where our threads are still loose. We're slowly bringing them in.
This is a 24 episode anime. They just decided to like, we'll give you like, was it 12 weeks to continue? It's just weird.
You'll just have to wait for the end there. It's like, okay. But now I'm really like, I want to know what's going to happen next. It didn't leave me in a satisfied like, okay, I can wait 6 months, not 6 months, 4 months for more to happen here. It's more just like, well, I feel like you're just that's like all of a sudden I was watching something that had all 24 episodes, and now all of a sudden halfway through it's no longer on that streaming service or something.
Yeah, I get it. It's like if a streaming service only had one season of a 2-season series for some reason.
It's more like they had the whole season, but then they dropped everything after I got to episode 12 and I can't continue, is what it seems like. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I mean, I would almost give Dead Mount Death Play an 8 as well.
Yeah, it's 7 for me.
Okay. Well, I think I liked it. Well, I like Skip and Loafer. Skip and Loafer is like, okay, sometimes we have to get ourselves in the mood to watch anime. But I'm like, to get myself in the mood to watch anime, I'm like, yeah, I'll put on an episode of Skip and Loafer.
I feel like every time we're like, we need to watch some anime. It's like, which one do we start with?
Skip and Loafer. Yeah. And then we'll be like, we know we like the other ones. It's just harder to like bring ourselves to be in that headspace. Where Skip and Loafer, we can just sort of relax.
Yeah, it's that thing where you just watch it. You don't have to worry about like plot lines or like
following stuff.
Yeah, be in the right headspace. It's just like it's Skip and Loafer. It's gonna make
put it on. Yeah, but I would put Dead Mount Death Play above it.
Okay.
So maybe it's like a 7.8 or something, but I would probably just give it an 8 just to be nice, I guess, round out.
Okay. You got anything else to say about Dead Mount Death Play?
I would say when you first start to watch it, you're just like, this is from the Durarara guy, and then the fantasy world disappears, and you're like, yes, this is much more Durarara Bakano flavor here. This is not fantasy anime. This is modern fantasy sort of thing. So, what do they call that when fantasy is set in the modern magical realism?
Modern fantasy? I don't know.
Anyway, so I'm like, okay, this has definitely got more of the vibe. The first part of the first episode, I'm like, I don't know if this is gonna be what I'm like, no, there's like gangs and stuff, okay, and factions and
like assassin guilds
and some modern world, but there's some weird stuff going on, and maybe some of it's supernatural and maybe some of it's not, and
there's immortals.
We haven't run into Isaac and Miria, not yet. I didn't see them, but I'm keeping my eyes out for them.
Okay. Next one I've written down is Mashle.
We didn't get past episode 5. I want to say we watched episode 5.
I think whatever we talked about in the impressions, that's as far as we got.
Maybe one more episode. I don't know. I never wanted to watch it. I was committed to or I thought I was going to be like, okay, we're just going to watch this. It's not going to be good, but
whatever.
Our anime seems
for the fans.
Anime subreddit seems to fucking love it, but I don't get it.
The anime subreddit's probably a bunch of 15-year-olds or whatever.
Yeah.
Just I don't care.
Yeah, I realize
the show is boring.
As I get older and older, I just the people on the internet are just getting younger and younger. Yeah. It's like, what is wrong with you people? Maybe I just need to find better communities. Yeah. Not that I ever actually comment that much on Reddit.
You'd be more
I'm a lurker.
Yeah, you just read the comments what are they talking about?
These people are children. I'm not gonna say mean things to them because they're children. I'm just gonna think, man, these are children. Let them have their own conversations. It's fine.
But it's just boring. It's an interesting premise. It's just they don't do anything with it.
It's the problem with premises is it's no indication of how good a show is.
Yeah, you can have an interesting premise, but unless you do something with it, it's just a premise.
Yeah,
it's not a story.
It's a part of the problem, and I realized this in college, just speaking to people that I wouldn't necessarily call friends, because we never really hung out, but we had like classes together and talked, and maybe got lunch or something after a class or in between classes. Technically, I'm steam friends with the person I'm thinking of, but it's just like they would tell me these premises, and I'd be like, but that doesn't mean it's good.
Yeah.
Like, that's no indication of a show's quality. It's like, oh, this guy, he's going to this all-girls school, but the only way they'll let him stay is if they think he's gay and has a muscle fetish. And it's like, that's just a premise. That's not any indication if it's good. Show's fine. I watched the show. But it's just like, that's not... Yeah, I can't take that. And that's what people always tell you about shows is, well, this is what the premise is. And it's like, but that's not... that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. It's like, what about the show? I was like, what do you mean the show? What happens? Well, stuff.
It's just like what is the premise of John Wick? The premise of John Wick, not that interesting. It's a revenge story.
Yeah, former assassin gets revenge on a gang member who kills his dog.
It's like, that's a premise. And like, okay, if I'm like looking for revenge stories, fine. But I'm just like, oh no, what's really good about it is that it's got great choreography and it's well acted and well written and well shot. It's like, it's all these things that you
don't... Great acting, yeah. It's like...
It's these things here where it's just like, okay, that's what makes a movie good. The premise is just there for the sake of, like...
You need to do something with it.
Not that like the story and the plot don't matter, but they're like the least important part of what makes a good movie.
Usually.
Yeah. I mean, like, you have to have something.
It's got to be compelling, but the story itself isn't the thing that has to be necessarily compelling.
Yeah, or it's not the reason. It's not your foundation.
The acting can make it compelling. The shots can make it compelling.
You have to have a coherent...
The music can make it compelling.
You have to have a coherent story.
Yeah.
But you don't...
Not always.
Well,
usually.
Okay. You have to have something that's coherent.
Yes.
Maybe it's like...
Unless it's just... I don't know. There's some movies where like, this makes no sense, but it's pretty awesome.
But they still have some like coherent thread. The problem... I guess what's coloring me right now is I'm in the middle of reading The Wavering of Haruhi Suzumiya, which is actually like 4 short stories put into a book. Mm-hmm. And one of the short stories is just Kyon describing the plot of the movie they made. Because like they have that episode of the anime where it's just like, here's the movie that they made, episode 0 or whatever. So this short story was just titled Episode 0, The Adventures of Mikuro Asahina or something like that. And it's just like, it's just Kyon going like scene by scene describing what's happening and then sometimes giving his color commentary.
That sounds kind of great.
And it's just like, when you're just like hearing him talk about the movie, it's like, yeah, that movie does not have a coherent story. Or edits, because it's just like, all of a sudden we're here. Why are we here now? That's not important.
Editing.
The director decided that now
movie
Mikuru
magic
is all of a sudden living with Koizumi, and then in this new scene we've all of a sudden established that Koizumi lives with his little sister, and it's like Kyon's little sister, I guess, was an actor in the movie. So it's just like, why does this matter? Why are they all of a sudden fighting in front of this pond? Does it have any relation to the previous scene? No! And it's just like, okay, that story works because it's the story is Kyon is trying to make sense of this convoluted movie. The movie itself is just like, this is unwatchable. But it's just like, okay, so you need to have some like consistency.
Yeah.
And if it gets weird, it's fine so long as you can sort of follow the thread. So like Sunny Boy gets weird, but that thread is there. You have to look for it, but it's there. It doesn't seem like it's there at first.
There's also
but it is there.
other things that are grabbing your attention, probably.
Yeah. it's got a consistent atmosphere.
Yes.
It's, so even if you're not following along with what's happening logically, you're following along emotionally.
Yes.
I don't know. We got on this.
Sorry.
Mashle
no, this
sucks.
is fine. It's taking us away from talking
don't listen to those anime popularity polls in our anime. Mashle sucks.
There are a couple of fun scenes.
Yeah.
That are still kind of boring.
But they don't warrant.
I like where he's trying to make potions. He ends up making cream puffs. It's okay, that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
The scene where he's floating in the air by
continuously kicking his legs or whatever.
And then boomeranging the ball. That's kind of funny, but it makes no logical sense.
And does it make the rest of the show worth it? No. Does it have a compelling art style, or is it the same generic anime art style that a lot of shows have? Yes.
They have lines on their face. Does that make them compelling?
No.
They're just lines.
That's character design, not art style. But it's just there's nothing truly that grabs me about that show. Now, we did stop early.
Mm-hmm.
By all means, it could have taken a complete left turn, and I actually care about the characters and the story. But as it was, the characters seemed like gags, and the gags, you can have gag anime, but the gags weren't funny enough to warrant the rest of the show. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know, man. Friend of the show Pants was also stupefied by how people...
Okay. Yeah, we weren't the only ones who didn't like it. Okay, moving on. Oh, you want to give a rating?
3.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't give ratings to shows I don't finish.
Okay.
So I can't really do that. But where I was at, 3.
I forget what the ratings are, but maybe a 5 if you're generous.
5 means okay.
Alright, it's a 4.
4 means bad.
Okay. 4.5. I wouldn't say it's bad. It's just okay.
I would say it's bad. Okay. I would say it's not okay. Because there are other shows I watched that I gave a 5 that maybe I should have given a 4, but I was being nice.
I'll go 4. It's bad.
Mm-hmm. It's I didn't finish it, and I gave other shows that I watched this season that you didn't watch a 5 when I finished them on my anime list. Because I'm it's fine. Am I going to watch it again? No. Most certainly not. You got to be at least a 6 or a 7. A rare 6 will I rewatch. If maybe I'm unsure about whether or not it deserves a 6.
Was it 6? I don't know. Sorry. I don't know if you got that reference.
No, I got it.
Okay.
It's a kind of funny reference, right? Yeah.
Is it a 6? I don't know. I don't know the end.
I can say wigging out with Scarpino?
Yeah. I can say that, but it's that doesn't make sense for what I just said.
But it's not. Is it a 6? It's is it a wig?
Yeah.
I don't know. Wigging out with Scarpino. That
was my reference. I just didn't know if you knew.
You watched enough kind of funny videos while I was still in the room for me to get that.
We're moving on to Hell's Paradise.
Yeah.
We didn't finish this one either.
But not
because it was bad.
Just because we had too many shows. And it was always the one that we wanted to watch the least.
At some point, you have a pecking order. And it was just on the bottom.
Yeah. And we were nah, I don't want to keep watching anime. I don't want to... It's another one of those shows where it's I got to be in the mood to watch it. Mm-hmm. I have a feeling if we get a free day here, we might just go ahead and finish that show. Yeah. But it definitely deserves it from what we saw. Mm-hmm. It's intriguing.
It is intriguing.
It's just,
Again, it's intriguing, just not quite the show I usually like.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, I've got to get in the mood for it to watch it.
And now that it's all out, and we only have 6 or 5 episodes to watch, I think we could probably knock it out some evening that we're free. But it's can we knock it out this evening?
No.
Probably not, because it's already 7:30, and... Mm-hmm. We've got some other things we might want to watch. Are we going to watch it tomorrow evening? No, because we're planning on watching movies with friends. Mm-hmm. Are we going to watch it
Friday? No, because you're
Friday.
Busy. Or Thursday? No.
Thursday? No, because I don't know when I'm going to get home. Friday? No, you're working late. Yeah. Saturday? No, you're working late. Sunday? No, you're working till 8.
Yeah.
But still, it's maybe we could do it Sunday. But normally you want to unwind from work with something a little bit less So what? Maybe Monday.
But then it's like Monday. We might have plans Monday.
Yeah, that's too far.
Tuesday, it's 4th of July. Can't do it.
Oh yeah, that's right. We do have plans Monday. The 4th of July. What are you doing on 4th of July?
Family party.
Yeah, but like that's gonna take what, like 4 hours out of your day?
Well, towards the end, yeah.
Yeah. So we just do it before.
I'm gonna watch Independence Day.
All right. Do you?
I don't
you have to watch that every year.
But... Well, no, but
okay.
It's kind of tradition I'm trying to start.
Okay, all right, I can get that. Is it always Independence Day, or can we find other 4th of July themed movies? Not Independence Day.
You can try to find Independence or like 4th of July patriotic / type movies if you want. Okay. Because I was kind of thinking maybe Top Gun.
Okay. What about Rudolph's New Year?
No.
Because they go to the year of 1776 Island where it's always 4th of July.
No.
Okay. I think they befriend like Ben Franklin or something.
Okay. No.
Okay. Not that one. I'll keep my eyes out.
Okay.
Anyway.
Anyways.
Moving on.
Yeah, there's really nothing to say about Hill's Paradise because we didn't watch it. So.
I mean, we didn't finish watching it.
We didn't finish watching it. But yeah, we will probably finish it.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's just we need to be in the mood for it. And we weren't.
Yeah.
So.
It's actually very well animated.
Mm-hmm.
And
very well animated.
And an intriguing concept, but also just a little dark for our general taste, too.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I like a dark thing, but I've got to get into it.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of dark things that we got to get into, we should really watch.
Go on.
We should really finally commit to watching Garden of Sinners.
Oh yeah, you're right. We should.
Which I'm almost thinking like, friends of the show, Brock Brumlove, wants to watch a bunch of Ghibli movies. Like, maybe we just put on Garden of Sinners instead.
No,
like, okay, this is Castle Cagliostro, Brock, and it's the first Garden of Sinners movie. He doesn't know.
This is weird. I think he'll know.
Where's the Castle of Cagliostro?
It's not that he hasn't seen a Ghibli movie. He hasn't seen them in a while. I think he'll catch on pretty quick.
I don't think he's ever seen Castle of Cagliostro. I was like,
no, but again, I think he'll get the general sense of, I don't think this is a Ghibli movie.
Well, okay, but Castle of Cagliostro is not Ghibli,
technically not.
We just decided to start with it.
That was my argument was going to be if I didn't want to watch Cagliostro. It's like, technically it's not a Studio Ghibli, so we could skip it.
Yeah, but technically we're probably also going to skip Grave of the Fireflies just because really it's a heavy movie,
I still need to watch it.
I need to watch it at some point too. I'm keep putting it off because maybe
what if we watch that 4th of July?
Garden. I don't know why I said Garden.
Grave
of the Fireflies. Ooh. Well, it's a World War II movie.
There we go.
And it's about Japanese people, I think, dying.
There we go.
But we're also supposed to empathize with them and feel really, really sad. Which is not very American to empathize with other people. That sounds like as un-American as...
Not on the 4th of July.
It's like Russia or something. Okay.
Anyways, moving on. You want to talk about your shows first? Or you want me to talk about Birdie's one?
So I also watched my One Hit Kill Sister, just because I was in that mood for like, I don't know, I need something to watch that's dumb and a little thirsty.
Dumb and a little thirsty. Okay.
And that I got what I want because it was dumb. That older sister was thirsty. The other characters were thirsty. My only problem is that dude is not thirsty. He's a desert. He's dry as a desert. Like I get not being attracted to your sister or whatever, even though she's a hot anime girl. I get that.
Yeah.
The other girls that are like wanting to get close to him, it's like even at the last episode, he's just like, "Don't act like that," and it's like, but she's a pretty rich girl with a giant sword. You're not in the least bit attracted to that.
I mean, she's not a dragon.
This is a person that you've spent a lot of time with and, have personally, like, rescued her little brother and her, and there's no attraction whatsoever. You're not related to all these people. You're just related to one of them. I get that, all right? But it's just like, I'm just like, this anime protagonist, man, he can't... That's the problem with harems is...
Wouldn't you say he's like... What is it? What's the opposite of thirsty?
Dry.
Sustained. Fulfilled?
I guess dry is not the opposite of thirsty. No. You're probably pretty thirsty if you're dry.
Yeah.
He's I don't know, wet.
You can't say wet because then it's...
Yeah.
You're going back to the other part.
We could say, satiated.
Oh, that's still kind of a dirty
Content. It's just
hydrated?
Yeah, he's hydrated. No, because that sounds like he's getting something regular.
I don't know.
There's just no...
There's no word for it.
Yeah,
we
it's
have
just
to
like
think about it.
I like harem animes just because I don't know, cute girls, romance, but like the guy has got to be like interested in at least one or two of them. You know, like okay, there's something there, and not just like, oh my god, these people keep clinging to me and they're so annoying, but you know, also they're my best friends, but I am absolutely miserable every time that they interact with me. And it's like, no, that's a bad harem protagonist.
Okay.
A good one is into like one or two of the girls and or is into one of them, but like starts to develop feelings for another
maybe
one.
Not even like into all of them, like any of them, but there's like a chance or like he notices it.
Yeah. Where he's just like...
It's like, I know all these women like me and I like them, but not to that level. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm open to something.
Yeah.
Or, you know, like, okay, yeah, this is... Well, I just watched... I rewatched season 1 of Masamune-kun's Revenge. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, okay, yeah, this guy is an actual character. He's got, like, a goal. He wants to get this girl to be into him.
Yeah.
So that he can get his revenge on her.
I think
but then it's just like, you know, this other character shows up and is all of a sudden into him, but he's just like, I don't know who this is. She knows my name. So there's like this mystery here of he's like, she's most certainly like my type, but I'm committed to this revenge plan. And that would
get in my way.
Is this revenge plan childish? You know, should I forsake this for something genuine? Or do I have genuine feelings for this one person, even though I'm trying to get my... So they're like, it's not a one-way street. Mm-hmm. He's not just like on the receiving end of these things. There is actual emotions coming from him as well. And it's like, okay, this is how you do something like that. Whereas this show is just like, oh my god, she's gonna hug you and try to kiss you and you're gonna go like, yeah. And then this other girl is gonna be like, let me grab your arm, and you're gonna be like,
step up. Oh,
sorry that this girl is touching her boobs to my arm. And it's like, I can't. Come on, dude.
Okay.
So anyway, my one hit kill sister, I gave it a 5.
Okay.
It's okay.
Moving on.
I also watched Rokudo's Bad Girls.
Okay.
Similar situation, only the art style is a little unappealing. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, okay. The premise of that show is this little... Well, the people listening don't
obviously they listened to the episode before where we talked about it, so they know already.
Did I talk about Rokudo's Bad Girls?
I think you did.
Okay.
You can still go over it. Who knows?
The premise is this kid him and his friends get bullied. He goes to a school full of delinquents, and he gets a package sent to him, I guess from like his grandfather's will or something, where there's a magic scroll that casts a spell on him that bad girls find him attractive.
Okay.
The badder the girl, the more attracted they are to him. Mm-hmm. And then it's just like, okay, I guess we'll deal with those hijinks. And then also we've got these people that are trying to like be gangs or whatever. And it's like, okay, it's fine. 5.
Okay.
At least he acknowledges, like, it's weird that this spell is cast on me and I don't want to fuck around with people's free will. So I'm going to like try to turn them into good people so that they won't be magically drawn to me anymore.
So if they're no longer delinquents, then they're no longer attracted to them.
Yeah.
So man, that's a double-edged sword.
Yeah. I don't know where I was going with that. Whatever, 5. If you want to watch it, sure. If it's your thing, sure. Like I said, the premise is fine. It's coherent, but it's not anything to write home about.
Okay.
Okay, then the last one I think that I watched that we didn't talk about is Konosuba, An Explosion on This Beautiful World is I think the full title, the Megumin prequel.
Yep.
It's fine.
Okay.
I like Megumin's my favorite character of Konosuba, so I'm like, okay, prequel, sure.
Yeah. I love me some
But
Megumin.
then it's just like, I like Megumin because there's sort of a thing between her and Kazuma, and I like their dynamic. And this, it's Megumin's dynamic with Yunyun, who she, like, it's funny when Yunyun shows up in the regular show, and it's just like, they're just sort of like looking down on Yunyun, despite her being like more capable than anybody else. And it's like, but when that's like your one dynamic that you're really basing this whole show on, it gets a little old. You know, it's whatever. I think some of my favorite parts are just like towards the end. She's in the starting village, and like you'll just occasionally like see Kazuma and Aqua in the background, like getting scolded by construction people, or like, like there's a scene where it's like, we gotta find that one girl who's an archpriest to deal with this, undead problem, or I don't know if it was a demon or something like that that's shown up. You know, we need somebody with holy powers to come in, and then they're like, so if we can find that priestess, let's scour the town. And then like she sees like Aqua being drunk and belligerent in public, and like you don't see like their face, you just see like them in the background, and they're looking. It's like, nah, I can't be that person. And it's like, you're teasing me. Like, give me I want Kazuma. I want Aqua. I want
That's a
darkness.
Weird thing to ask for. You want Kazuma?
Yeah, I do. Anyway,
moving on.
it's fine.
Okay.
I'll give it like a 5 or a 6, maybe.
Okay.
6 just because it's better than the other two.
Okay.
You want to talk about Birdie's Wing for a bit?
Sure. It's good. It's fun.
More of the same. We had a whole episode talking about Birdie's
Wing. It doesn't
Wing.
get quite to like the insaneness levels of season 1, but it does that thing where it's just like, oh, I've got to up my power, that type of thing in sports that you see. So it's fun.
Yeah.
It's probably honestly a 7. I'm gonna give it an 8 because I really like it.
Okay. That's fine. You're allowed to be subjective. Mm-hmm. This is your ratings. So, yeah, that's all we have to say about Birdie's Wing, I guess. There's a difference between me talking about shows I watched and you talking about shows that you watched. It's good.
What do you want me to say?
I don't know.
They play golf. They're upping their power. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay. Well, you're hosting, so is there anything else you want to talk about?
I think that's it.
Okay.
So I think we can just end it. I'm trying to think. You didn't have any other ships, best girls, anything?
I mean, Megumin is best girl of regular Konosuba, and I guess technically also best girl of her show by process of elimination. I didn't know if you had any like
special shout outs for any of the shows.
Let's see. I do want to give, I know I didn't speak highly of the show, I do want to give special commendation to one of the girls in Rokudo's Bad Girls, just because she wants to be a motorcycle cop, and I think drove her motorcycle to the roof of a school building at one point.
Cool. Did she do the Akira slide?
I believe so.
Okay.
I'm not 100%. I can't pinpoint the exact scene in my mind, but surely she did.
Okay. I mean, you can't be riding a motorcycle and not do the Akira slide.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like that's one of the rules of film history. Mm-hmm. Motorcycle, Akira slide.
Yeah.
Bicycle,
Buster
Akira
Keaton
slide.
did it.
Yeah, Buster Keaton did the Akira slide. Maybe Akira did the Buster Keaton slide.
What are you talking about?
Okay. What other shows do we have? Dead Mount Death Play. I like the Assassin Girl in Dead Mount Death Play. She's fun.
Okay.
She's technically a zombie now.
Technically.
Let's see.
So you said Assassin Girl. I was thinking the person like in the last episode who was fighting Solitaire. I'm like, no, that's a dude.
That's a boy. That's a young man.
What are you talking about?
Let's see. What else we got here? We got Magical Destroyers. I like Anarchy.
Anarchy's cool.
Let's see. We've got Skip and Loafer. I like the main girl in Skip and Loafer. We already talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
I've got nothing to say about
Mashle. You can just like concede now. It's like you don't have to...
I will say bold choice here from what I've been reading on our anime subreddit, but best girl in my one hit kill sister is the girl that was introduced like near the end, the rich blonde girl with a big sword. She's great because she's sort of, I wouldn't say tsundere, but she's definitely hiding her feelings in a very tsundere-esque method of.
Okay.
But I wouldn't say she's like mean. She's just like, no, I don't have feelings. Nah, that's ridiculous.
No, we're not.
Anyway,
that's it. We're done.
That's it. We're done.
Go ahead, do it.
No, you have to plug all the stuff first.
Oh, I gotta plug the stuff?
Yeah, you're hosting, man.
Oh, shoot. Okay. Follow us on Twitter at anime_territory. We're on YouTube. Anime Territory. Cityscape background. Comment, subscribe, whatever.
We're not going to
We're supposed to do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All that shit.
All podcast services, basically.
Yep.
Apple, Spotify. What is it? Spotify Podcasts?
Spotify for podcasts now. It's not called Anchor anymore.
And then you stream on Twitch sometimes.
Yeah.
At twitch.tv/DementedGoku.
Got a new stream computer.
Yeah.
So I might be trying to find excuses to do it again. I really haven't played Gloomhaven in a while. But that's because I've been on a Tears of the Kingdom and reading kick.
Mm-hmm.
And just haven't reached out to the people that I normally play with. But hopefully I can get Dylan back and we can continue our playthrough of Final Fantasy X and he'll stop skipping cutscenes.
Oh, okay.
I'm just like, I'm playing this game to get the story, his favorite game, and like I couldn't get into it myself.
Oh, for him that's instinct now.
Yeah, and he's played that game so many times, and he's just constantly skipping dialogue scenes. I'm like, you realize the whole point of us playing this is so that I could get this story, and he's like, oh yeah.
Okay, I think I plugged everything.
Yeah, we're good. Send us a tweet and we'll send you a sticker.
Johnny will send you a sticker.
Yes, in the U.S. because I'm not paying for international postage again.
Okay.
So you're now leaving the anime territory.
Goodbye.